Alright, welcome back to another PvP pet battle video. Today, we're going to have a spotlight on Eula, and the goal here is to create tier 1 teams with him. I have 5 teams here that all are really strong. Some use tier 1 pets, some don't. Most of them do use tier 1 pets. But I'm trying him out in a couple of teams to see where he might really shine. Unfortunately, in the current meta, he is particularly weak. He does terrible against darkness users because he takes extra damage from humanoid attacks. Doesn't have a very high health pool, isn't very fast, doesn't hit all that hard, and so it's really hard for him to really shine the way let me think here. The way that any other pet might just shine on their own. Really, the only way to use him well is to use Celestial Blessing, and then bring in a pet who can do well already that maybe might be a little bit squishy to give it basically a 3-round crouch that it might not otherwise have. So we're going to bring in our fossilized hatchling here and start throwing out some bone storms. That dread hatchling is going to stay on the back line here and take damage, which means I just want to go for AoE damage as much as I can to try to get rid of that racial. That's the smartest way to use one of these darkness flyers, honestly, is to just nice. Alrighty, so I'm about full health. There's a ghostly bite. I'm just going to go ahead and stay in since he's stunned. But yeah, as I was saying, the dread hatchling is really quite dangerous if you leave it on the back line and then have it for a 1v1 later on. That's really a very scary prospect, because I don't have anybody who will do very well 1v1. Maybe the vengeful porcupine if I can get him close to his racial, because I can get faster than him with take out that racial with a power ball. But I definitely want to try to get out two more, how do you call them? I'm gonna actually swap here. My goal is going to be to dodge this ghostly bite, which I kind of predict he's just going to do. He's been doing that on cooldown. There it is. So I'll be able to come down, take a death coil, and then throw up a celestial blessing. Alrighty, so now that I have Celestial Blessing up, I should be able to bring in my fossilized hatchling again. Probably go ahead and throw up a Bone Storm. I should be able to heal before he hits me with a Ghostly Bite. Crit, so I am glad that I had Celestial Blessing up. And he's not actually going for a Ghostly Bite for off cooldown for the first time this match. What scares me is the mechanical, because all I have left is the vengeful porcupine at the end of this. But I'm not too worried, because if he has the turrets, I can actually basically be immune to that for a bit. I think I will go for a Bone Storm here. I'm not sure, actually. It's tough. I think I will go for the Bone Storm, activate his racial here, and hopefully take care of that Dread Hatchling's racial. Nice. Was that a crit? No, I just got 4 Bone Storms into it. Sweet. Alrighty, so now I suppose I'll just go for an Ancient Blessing. There's an Unholy Ascension. He never did use that other Ghostly Bite he had available for a while, so I was scared of it, but with that heal I was going to be fine. I am going to go for a couple of Bone Bites. If I land the second one, I will take care of his bird, no problem. And nice, I landed it under darkness. That's always scary. Now that the darkness is up, you never know quite what's going to happen. But this is what I was talking about. This 1v1, He does have Unholy Ascension, but with my Spirit Spikes, I basically have 2 rounds of immunity to that turret. And I also have this Undead Racial to really kind of get him closer to death range. He does have Blitz, but that's not strong against my Vengeful Porcupet. Alrighty, so I should be faster than him in just 1 Power Ball. And thank goodness he does have Railgun, but that hit really hard. My Power Ball missed, but that's okay. All I really needed was to get faster than him, throw out my Spirit Spikes. Now I'm okay. I'm going to take a lot of damage after I kill him, but I don't think it's enough. Actually, if I get a triple here, I kill him anyways. No, I didn't. I was just not quite enough. But he did go for damage while I had Spirit Spikes up, so I am going to kill him with Reflect damage, and we never had to see how much damage I was going to take on the next round, which was good, because it was going to hit a lot with Unholy Ascension. 2 turrets up. So that was a little bit scary there. Beast versus a Mechanical at the end, but it ended up being okay. This team is rather similar. And here's the reason why these 2 teams are so similar. Then I tried to come up with other teams, but they're probably not going to do as well, even though they are quite a bit more fun. As I was explaining earlier, Eula is particularly bad against any darkness user because that's a heavy undead nuke. And I'm sorry, it's a heavy damage humanoid nuke, and obviously he's a dragon. He takes extra damage from that. So one of his biggest enemies is a tier 0 pet. Bone Serpents are really strong because they take out like half his health in just 1 button. Additionally, his basic attack, Breath, is weak against undeads, so he's already at a disadvantage against undeads, and then the Bone Serpent, which is the strongest undead in the meta, is just really, really unstoppably hard to go up against with Eula. Now, here, what do I want to do? If I play my cards right, I can have a good matchup, and if I play it wrong, I can have a terrible matchup. So I think I want to start with my rabbit, see if I can predict a haunt or anything from this Wicked Soul. Now, this is a health power crusher, so this guy does run Ghostly Bite. I know him. I've played against him. He's a pretty good player, and he loves this Wicked Soul crusher combo. So we're going to see if we can dodge this haunt. What actually would have been way smarter. There's the haunt. Okay, nice. So I was kind of playing a little ballsy there and blowing my cooldowns, not really playing strategically, because I did predict that he would kind of use his cooldowns and then be out of moves. So now I am going to be safe to bring in my Wicked Soul. He might throw up an Acid Touch, but then he better swap here, because if he doesn't, he's in a lot of trouble with this. Yeah, that haunt is going to go into the Gazelle Fawn. That's a very nice and smart pet to soak it with, because he can basically heal up with Nature's Ward. Now, my Eula is actually decently okay against the Gazelle Fawn, and he's garbage against these 2 pets, so I am going to bring him in here. I kind of don't want to give away whether I have Liftoff or Breath, so I am just going to go for a Breath here. Just try to get some damage in. So far this is going pretty well. I'm just going to go for another hit here. He might swap. We'll have to see. I do have my racial proc, so in case he stays in, which I'd be very surprised by, but in case he does, yeah, okay, of course he swapped. Well played. So, got that Gazelle Fawn to about half health, which is pretty good. Don't want to take the haunt on my rabbit for sure, but that's okay. I'm just going to go ahead and throw out my Celestial Blessing. Later on, I'm going to be able to... Ooh, he didn't go for that haunt right off the bat. Interesting choice. Not really that interesting. This guy's playing a very healy team, so of course he's going to use his heals on cooldown. I probably should have predicted that. Alrighty, so haunt is coming. I don't have another pet to haunt him back with, so I think I am going to take that haunt on my rabbit, who can take half damage because of Celestial Blessing. Thank goodness he used Ghostly Bite. Alrighty, well this guy is misplaying his Wicked Soul horribly. and that's going to benefit me a lot. It's going to bring in that ghost and that crusher. Gonna bring in my Wicked Soul here. Go ahead and throw up a heal. He might swap it to his Wicked Soul. If not, okay, that's nice. I was afraid he'd swap it to Wicked Soul, which is really awkward because then we basically have to go for a 50-50 chance or play a game of chicken for whoever's going to lose their Wicked Soul first. Okay, now Eula's going to come in. Breath is going to go out. That's going to activate my racial. Hopefully he stays in for a bleat, and he's going to die if he does that. People always underestimate the Dragonkin racial. He's thinking, so maybe he's onto my scheme. There, he is going to swap. But fortunately he swapped into Crusher, which I did not expect for a second. I think I want to go for a Breath here, not a Liftoff. Because I think I just barely activate my racial. I did. That's fantastic. Nice. That's a lot of damage for that Crusher to have to deal with. Okay. So that Body Slam's going to almost kill me, but not quite. 713 plus 79 with no crits is not my entire health pool, but I think I will dodge it anyways. If I can avoid that Body Slam, it still is so much damage. It's worth it for me to go for that Liftoff. And he technically didn't know I had Liftoff, so that's kind of a bit of a trick play, I suppose. Alrighty, he got a crit. That's okay. I got my racial activated, so he's gonna swap. I 100% promise you he's gonna swap. So I am just going to go for the Ancient Blessing, Celestial Blessing, instead of utilizing my racial. Yeah, I was pretty sure he'd bring in that Wicked Soul. Now what do I want to do, I wonder? I kind of want to bring in my Wicked Soul. If he goes for a Ghostly Bite, it won't kill me because I have 50% damage mitigation. I'm going to go ahead and throw up a heal. That'll keep my Eula alive to potentially soak a Body Slam, maybe a Haunt. Yeah, he's just going to go for a swap there. That's very nice. I'm going to go ahead and Haunt. I'm going to retain the 2 rounds of Celestial Blessing for whenever I come back, so that could be very useful to have. And I'm going to bring in Eula. Go ahead and activate my racial. Maybe throw up another Celestial Blessing. It's a tough call. I think I am going to just go for damage. And it didn't matter. He went for a hoof, and it hit really high, so it's okay. I'm going to go ahead and go for a flurry here. No reason to go for a burrow because he's just going to change his type to an elemental and swap. Predicting another swap, so I am going to... Yeah, there's the Crusher. Okay. Now, the question is, does he go for Shell Armor or Acid Touch right off the bat? I'm going to predict an Acid Touch and dodge. Alrighty, that was a correct prediction. Now, I mean, I'm dodging, so there's really no point for me to swap. So I am just going to go for some quick damage before he throws up his Shell Armor. Now I literally can't touch him with anything except Burrow, so obviously I do want to bring in the Wicked Soul. Also, what would be great is if he uses that Body Slam. He didn't, so that's looking scary. I have to go for a Shadow Shock. Hope it hits high. And thank goodness he swapped. Okay. That makes my life a little easier. Now, is he going to go for a heal? Or is he going to go for that damage? I'm going to go for a heal. I'm not going to die to a Ghostly Bite, but I would have died. I would have died to the dot, so That went well for me. Gonna go ahead and haunt whoever he brings in. I have to remember, I'm gonna die to an acid touch on the back line, so I have to be careful about that. Gonna go for a flurry here. I'm gonna go ahead and go for a burrow. I don't want to kill him with a flurry because then my Wicked Soul will get insta-killed. And he did swap in already. I don't see this one being a win. My rabbit's just too weak against Crusher, and obviously Eula was just he was just dead weight against Crusher and the Wicked Soul. He went for an acid touch last time, and he has a dot on me. It's tough to say. I'm going to go ahead and go for a dodge here. He went for acid touch again, just as I predicted. Now that I'm dodging, I want to bring in my Wicked Soul. I'm going to die to an acid touch next round, so I want to be able to get off at least 2 rounds of damage into Crusher. It's probably just going to swap, though. That Crusher is so overpowered if you don't have a really strong way to counter him. He just heals too much and mitigates too much damage. Yeah, he has shell armor and he's still going to swap because he knows he can just heal in the back line with acid touch. So I am going to be able to get off a Shadow Shock, but it's going to be weak. It might literally do no damage. Yeah, like that's basically negligible damage. And at this point, I'm stuck with a rabbit against Crusher. Nothing I can do. Nothing in the world. Like, I could get triples and crits and nothing else. But, I mean, the flurry just doesn't even touch him. His health bar literally just goes up, not down, whenever it's a 1v1 between a rabbit and him. And then throwing him with 2 Healy pets is really kind of trolly. But I'm not going to do too bad with this team. Or if I play again with this team, but I probably won't do that. I'm going to go ahead and try this team, Mauler 5. Pun, of course, is the Maul from the Infested Bear Cub, and named after one of my favorite composers. So if I get a rematch, this team will do okay. It won't do great, but it will do a bit better because I have that higher health undead with strong undead damage, and it'll do fine against this team. Let's see. I'm glad I didn't get a rematch, though. That guy's no fun to fight. He just uses and abuses that Aura Eater or Crusher, and that's all he plays. Now, what is he going to open with? I don't know. This is a fun team. It's a really strong bleed team. So the idea, of course, is for me to bring in my... Usually to bring in Eula off the bat, but I am going to actually bring in this guy first. Go ahead and throw up a Rip, and then probably swap. Not sure who I'm going to swap into yet. That was loud. Sorry about that. Alright, and I want to retain my racial. I don't have any way to heal my bird, so I want to be very careful with that bird racial. Actually, the bird racial isn't that important, but it might be. It might be against Polly. I'm going to go ahead and bring in Eula. Take that Conflagrate to the face. We'll go ahead and throw up a Celestial Blessing. Alrighty, and here is a life exchange. So that's going to be pretty nice. It's also going to give me my racial, so I should be able to kill that Fell Flame here. So, let's see what we can do here. I would kind of like to... bring that Sharp Talon Hatchling. It's a tough call. It is a tough call. I think I will. If he's going to save that bird for the end, then I am going to save my my undead for the end, because that's a really good matchup. Undeads versus flyers are usually going to go to the undead as far as matchups go. So while he has that extra plating up, I'm just going to take the opportunity to throw up a Falcosaur Swarm. That hit really weak, so that's very nice. Now that the Shattered Defense is going to be up and the extra plating is down, that was another really low-end hit. I'm going to be able to kill him with a Predatory Strike. Nice, 1,000 damage. Alrighty, so I have 3 pets and he has a Poly, so it's looking pretty good for me. If I can get a Falcosaur Swarm up on him. No, I'm not. Oh, that's okay. Now, if I can get a life exchange, that would be fantastic. But kind of too good to be true. Let's see if we can get away with that. Probably not. He almost certainly has Thrash, but if he has Slicing Winds, then, I will be able to get off this life exchange. No, he got a triple? That's so lucky. Oh, hey, man, that's lucky. But I think I've got this. I'm just gonna spam Disease Bite until I'm dead. And I just have too much health. This is the matchup I was telling you I was going to wait for. And all of those triples, and all of them are critting. I'm glad I saved my undead. This guy's luck is pretty great. But, let me see, 305, minus 25%. That will definitely kill him, so I'm going to go for the Maul here. Oh, and he didn't crit there, because he didn't have Hawkeye up anymore. Sweet. Alrighty, so, pretty scary there, but having that high health, high attack power undead is going to give me the win against that low health flyer. So, let's see what we can do next. This team is pretty fun. This is the only team that I already had created before I just decided to throw together some of these teams. And it didn't have it in my tier 1 slot, in my tier 1 list, but I probably could have. I mean, it does have 2 strong tier 1 pets that, this is kind of the classic way that you'll see that you'll be able to utilize Eula, is you just put him on a team with 2 pets that are kind of squishy, but really can benefit from having that Celestial Blessing, because this Magma Rageling in particular has so little health, no self-healing, but really overpowered cooldowns. So if you can utilize those cooldowns multiple times, you're going to win more often than not. And then, of course, the Iron Starlet, very strong pet that most people are going to try to burn down real quick so that you can't get off multiple one-shots. But if you can get off 2 one-shots with your Iron Starlet, which is very possible with a Celestial Blessing on him, you've basically just taken it, you know, you just turned it into a 2v1, because you maybe you'll lose your Iron Starlet, but you have 2 other pets to deal with whatever they have left. Unless, of course, they have a way to deal with the one-shot, and that's why I have him combined with 2 pets that can throw AoE. Most of the time you are going to run Breath, but at least here you're not so weak against undeads. We're going up against another little Ragnaros, so that's kind of cool. Really scary for my Iron Starlet for sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw out a Magma Trap, and his Nocturnal Strike should miss. But if it lands, I'm dead. That's a huge gamble. Very big gamble. Do I want to take it? Or should I just bring in Eula? I don't want to take the gamble, but it shouldn't land. Oh, thank goodness. I didn't have to worry about it. The trap went off. Alright, fantastic. Well, now that he's stunned, I'll go ahead and bring in Eula. He's going to go for that Nocturnal Strike. While I'm up in the air. And so he can't hit me, of course. Racial is activated, so this Jadefire Lightning is going to do some nice damage to that Sentinel Companion in the back line. Unless it misses. That'd be sad. Oh, why did I jinx myself? Oh my goodness, does he have Conflagrate? That'd be the best news ever. Thank goodness, I don't have to worry about a trap. Alrighty, Eula, you've done your job. So, Magma Rage Link's going to come in. I take 50% reduced damage, so I can just throw up a trap. Throw down a Flame Jet. I can actually stun Little Ragnaros at will. With a Magma Wave. I don't know if that's what I want to do, but at this point I'm low enough health that I don't really have anything I can do against the Sentinel's Companion, so I am just going to go ahead and throw out this. I'm going to activate my own trap with it and kill Little Ragnaros, and then I'll probably just kick the bucket, but that's okay. You don't really want to be finishing any matches with your... Oh, thank goodness he wasted his Soul Rush. That's excellent news. Alright, so, wind up. If he uses his Ethereal or Moonfire, then I know I can one-shot him. So, of course, that is what I will do. He has a terrible matchup, unfortunately, against me, so I'm just going to be able to one-shot his bird, and there's nothing he can do about it because he doesn't have Ethereal. At least he has Peck, but he's just not going to be able to take me out. Almost 2,000 damage from that Swifty one-shot. Just so little you can do in that situation. What was his other pet? He had Little Ragnaros and something. I feel like he just had a bad matchup against my Iron Starlet. If you have a bad matchup against him, he's God mode. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and try... Ugh, that voice crack though. Let's go ahead and try this team again, and really hope we don't run into a Crusher or an Ore Eater. Like I said, Eula is has a very strong, very big weakness to humanoids, and unfortunately to undeads as well. So, since those are the two most popular pets, that's a pretty bad situation to be in, and you're kind of forced to use critter damage and undamage, or just a really strong setup like a bleed combo, an overpowered move like a trap, or let's see if you guys can guess what the strategy is on this team. But I'm going to save that for last because that's my favorite. Looks like I don't have the quest right now. I'm gonna pick it up real quick. Unless the queue pops. Oh no, it popped. Alright, I'll go ahead and battle this one out. Totally forgot to pick up the quest for my level 25 stone. Well, I'll go ahead. Oh, that might have been a bad idea. I might disconnect in the middle of my... Yeah, let's go ahead and not do that. I thought it wasn't going to pop. Alrighty, sweet, sweet. Let's see. Tier 0, and Tier 2. I have a counter to the Bone Serpent, thank goodness. Nothing I can do against the Terror Claw Hatchling. And then the Snowfeather Hatchling's no big deal. Huh. Well, he's probably going to start with the Terror Claw. But in case he starts with the Bone Serpent, I am going to start with the Wicked Soul. Oh, sweet, he started with the Snowfeather Hatchling. That's fantastic news. So I'm going to be able to get out a Haunt. He's going to throw up a Crouch, that's okay. Obviously, I'm going to bring in Eula. Eula's going to be pretty good as long as he doesn't bring in that Bone Serpent. If he brings the Bone Serpent, I'm in trouble, but should be fine here. I'm going to predict the basic Falcosaur Swarm Predatory Strike combo, so I'm just going to go for Breaths. Okay, well, you can also just use it on cooldown. My idea was to use Liftoff whenever I thought he was going to use that Predatory Strike, but you can't really predict. Oh, well now you can. He has Savage Talon. This is a pretty good matchup, honestly. I think I am going to lift off here so that I can come down and hit him whenever Crouch is gone, or hit one of his other two pets. Probably going to bring in that Bone Serpent just because of that strong matchup. No, he's going to bring the Tarot Claw. It's a good strategy too, because he can just dodge my dodge and heal my damage back up. So I am going to kind of predict that and throw up a Celestial Blessing. Yep, there we go. Alrighty, Celestial Blessing's going to apply to my Wicked Soul. Now that his dodge is gone, I can go for some damage. Oh, and he has Claw. That means my rabbit is beyond garbage against him. Well, I am going to throw up a couple Shadow Shocks. I do want to get out a Haunt, obviously, onto that bird. Then I think I'll bring in Eula. I can't really bring in the rabbit, so... I'm gonna go ahead and throw out a Breath. Nice. He didn't dodge, so now I'm gonna activate my Racial and be faster than him. If just barely. And that was a pretty low end hit, but that's okay. A rabbit will be able to take him out, no problem. And the rabbit's pretty good against both of these two pets because that bird is slower than him now, and that Bone Serpent is... The rabbit's the best counter for the Bone Serpent you can find. So... Don't let me down, Peter. I'm not worried. Nice triple. He might go for a Nocturnal Strike. It's okay if he does. Oh, gotta miss. But then another triple, so that's okay. And then I'm predicting a Bone Barrage here, so and he predicted me correctly. I'm gonna go ahead and go for that Burrow, and then he's gonna be able to hit me with that Predatory Strike. Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness he did not go for the Predatory Strike. That was a misplay to go for Crouch. For sure. Now I'm going to be able to get out a Flurry. If I get a triple, I think I can actually kill him through Crouch. No, not quite. 60 times 3 is 180. Not going to quite be able to kill him. So I am going to bring in my Wicked Soul during that last round of Crouch. Go ahead and throw up a Haunting Song just to get my rabbit back in a little bit of a better position. And then I'll just hit him with a Shadow Shock. Nice crit, but I'm pretty sure, I think my likelihood of not killing him there was like 1%. It had to be really, really, really low. I'm going to go ahead and go for a Haunt just to basically dodge whatever he throws at me here, and then I can just dodge with my rabbit until he's dead. I was a lot more scared of that matchup than it ended up being, but it's because with the Tarot Claw, a good player could have done a lot better. Should have taken the Haunt and just swapped to the back line, and instead he tried to stay brave and fight in the front line, which is it's not what makes the Tarot Claw strong. He's strong, or not what makes him tier 0. He's still a strong tier 1 pet that way, but if you just keep him on the front line, you can get rid of his Racial, and then he's really no problem to deal with. So we'll go ahead and try to get a 5th win here. this team ought to do pretty well no matter what I run into. But if I do run into a darkness team, it won't do quite so well. Sewer Pipe Jelly is not so great against that. Dragon Boat Hatchling isn't great without its racial. And my Cyclone. My Clone Dance obviously is nerfed by 10% hit chance, so I'm kind of hoping for a not darkness team. But the other thing that I have going for me is I have some more AoE to throw onto this team with Crackling Jade Lightning, and then I have a Life Exchange, which is actually not affected by darkness. So if they nuke you down with a Call Darkness Nocturnal Strike, and you're struggling at like 2% health, you can actually Life Exchange, and it will heal for the regular amount. It's the darkness does not nerf the heal, so that was something I learned the hard way. I think playing against Brawler in that tournament. It was against somebody, and I want to say it was Brawler, but it was somebody running the Nether Fairy Dragon. Somebody running the Nether Fairy Dragon, and I was running, I think, a Scourged Whelpling. I know I was running a triple Darkness team. And so I threw out Darkness, and first of all, I didn't even expect a Life Exchange, but, you know, even if he had it, I thought, oh, no problem. So, you know, it's a Healy team, no problem. I can just nerf the healing, and Life Exchange heals for full. So, alrighty. Another Clock Up. Another Clockwork Gnome. Stormwing. This combo's pretty obvious. I wonder if I've actually made this team, but I think with the Power Spider. This combo here is really deadly, so want to be careful for sure. I'm predicting the opener with Stormwing. That would make a lot of sense. Although that Amethyst Spiderling could give my bird a lot of trouble. I'm going to actually start with Eula, just to see what he throws at me. Okay, he is going to throw probably Brittle Webbing on me. Fortunately, I won the coin toss. Alrighty. Gonna go ahead and throw up a Celestial Blessing. Interesting. He's gonna bring in that Mechanical. I have Brittle Webbing on me, so I don't really want to take, you know, 200 damage just for attacking. It's more like 250, so I'll probably swap here. Actually, it's not a bad idea to keep going for damage, because the whole idea of this is I want to be able to get my health low without his health being too low, and then I can go for a nice Life Exchange. So I think I'll swap here. Go ahead and throw out my Cyclone. Also, I'm going to take weak damage from these 3 rounds, so that's a pretty nice turn of events for me. I'm going to go ahead and throw out that Cyclone. Unfortunately, I don't have a very good matchup bringing in my Sewer Pipe Jelly, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to buff the hit chance on my Cyclone. But it still might do okay. I'm going to save him for later. So I'm going to bring in Eula. Oh crap. I did not expect a Flock. I don't think I'm going to survive to throw out the Life Exchange. Yeah, I'm not. I'm dead. I was definitely expecting the Thunderbolt. Or whatever the other one was. I think it's Thunderbolt. Yeah, Thunderbolt's the more common one. Yikes. Well, I'm going to have to take this opportunity to buff that Cyclone hit chance. And then I really need a crit with Squeeze. That's going to do a lot of damage. I mean, that's a very viable option. I'm not sure why I didn't think that one through. The only reason why it's not so good is if I do have, say, Emerald Presence on my dragon, I'm just straight up going to take no damage from any of his abilities. So, a little bit risky to play that way. Nice, I got that crit. So, now his whole team is slowed for 2 rounds. I'm going to be able to get out some good damage into him. Oh, please tell me it didn't. Okay, thank goodness it didn't lag out. I saw the bar was at like 1 health, or was that like 1 second left. So this is going to hit hard against whoever comes in. Oh, he's not slowed anymore. That's awkward. Do I want to take that damage? 281. It's a tough call. I'm going to go ahead and swap here. Try to preserve that jelly for later. I think that was the right call. I think I want to go ahead and go for an adrenaline rush, just to keep my speed faster than him. Now I can go for a thrash. If I get a triple here, I'm pretty sure it's GG. No triple. Oh, but he did go for the heal, so it is going to be GG. That heal's just so awkward to use because it basically allows me to just do a setup on him and take him out. So it can be really, really good, but then it can also really not pay off, and that was one of the many situations where it doesn't pay off to have it because it just allows me... Ooh, ding. It allows me to do that, basically do damage without taking very much damage. Alrighty, yeah, I think it was the correct decision to swap even if he had Blitz. But it's a tough decision because you're slower than him. That's really, if I was faster than him, I would have swapped, no questions asked. But that squeeze is still nice to basically have as long as I'm able to take out his mechanical racial with my bird, which I thought I was going to be able to, then I can just finish him off with a squeeze later on, guaranteed. Either way, I think I had it. I had a pretty strong team. So this is kind of a how do you call it? A request video by Michael Leo, one of my awesome viewers. So here are 5 teams. I don't know if any of them really count as tier 1. Maybe this one. Maybe these two. These two are really quite strong. I don't know if any of the others are really tier 1, but they're definitely strong teams that you can utilize Eula for. And this also kind of can show off some of his abilities. The only thing I didn't use was Emerald Presence because Celestial Blessing's really the cool thing about him. Emerald Presence is actually probably better in a lot of situations. But there's just so many pets that are way better with Emerald Presence, like the Dream Whelpling, that if you're going to use Eula, you may as well use Celestial Blessing unless you're really just trying to trick up your opponent. And that's one thing you can do with Eula is you can very much use any combination of his 6 abilities. Well, no. You can't use any combination. You can't use Liftoff and Life Exchange. But you know what I'm saying. Like, you can choose from any of your 3 choices. You can make a choice of either of the 2, and you can really make a lot of fun teams that way. So, pretty unique pet. Not the strongest, but yeah, I had a lot of fun making these teams, and I hope you all enjoy. So, thank you all for watching. I will see you all in the next video.